Every invasion ends, but not every truth is buried. For everything that happened in Timbuktu, the red sky, the trembling earth, the silence that followed, there is one final chapter, the part only the survivors carried in their hearts. Today, we close this story. For years, we've pieced together the fragments of this hidden war, a conflict deliberately erased from the official records. We've seen how Constantine's legions marched not just for conquest, but for something far more valuable, something Timbuktu had guarded for centuries. Now, we arrive at the grand finale, the untold aftermath. Elders say that after Constantine's forces finally retreated, the land felt hollow, as if the spirits were still watching, still measuring the hearts of those who remained. The great libraries were smoke, the scholars scattered. It was a silence born of trauma. But in that emptiness, something powerful and unexpected happened. People started telling the truth again. The stories that had been forced underground began to reappear, first in whispers shared around late-night fires, then in defiant songs hummed in the marketplace. Hidden journals, buried beneath floorboards, resurfaced. The censored pages were rewritten from memory, filled in by the collective knowledge of a people who refused to be silenced. The truth, it turned out, refused to die. This quiet rebellion was the first sign that Timbuktu's spirit was unbroken. But the real mystery lay deeper, beneath the very sands of the desert. When modern researchers and archaeologists revisited the ruins decades later, they expected to find artifacts of war-shattered pottery, rusted armor, the remnants of a military occupation. Instead, they found something that baffled them. Carved into the foundation stones of the oldest structures were Mesangiant, geometric markings that matched no known empire. Not Constantine's, not any other. They were a language of their own. It pointed to one staggering conclusion. This invasion was never just about land or resources. It was about knowledge, specifically, about what Timbuktu protected. This discovery sent shockwaves through the historical community. For so long, the conflict was framed as a simple territorial dispute. But these symbols suggested a motive far more profound. Constantine wasn't just trying to conquer a city. They were trying to seize a legacy, a power that Timbuktu had inherited from a civilization far older than either of them. The city wasn't just a center of learning, it was a vault. And what was inside that vault? One surviving scroll, painstakingly pieced together from scorched fragments, spoke of a seal beneath the dunes, an energetic or spiritual barrier that must never be broken. It was described not as a treasure, but as a lock, holding back something ancient and volatile. Whether Constantine's leaders knew about this seal or were simply blundering in their greed, we may never know for sure. But what is certain is that their arrival, their brutal siege, and the subsequent destruction triggered a chain of events that weakened the seal and awakened something older than history itself. And that was the true turning point. The chronicles from that time are fragmented, speaking of strange atmospheric phenomena, of shadows that moved on their own, of a deep hum that emanated from the earth itself. It seems the invasion didn't just break a city, it nearly broke reality. This wasn't a war between two factions anymore. It was a struggle to contain a power that neither side could control. Constantine's forces didn't retreat because they were defeated in battle. They fled because they had unleashed something they could not comprehend. But the legends, the stories passed down through generations, say the seal was mended. It wasn't repaired by soldiers with weapons, nor by scholars with forgotten incantations. It was healed by the very people who refused to forget their heritage. They say their unity, their collective will to preserve their identity and protect their home, created a new kind of strength. It was their resilience, their stories, their shared memory that resonated with the land and calmed the disturbance. Unity healed what the invasion tried to break, and perhaps that is why, even after everything, Timbuktu still stands. Not just as a place on a map, but as a symbol of enduring resilience, a testament to the idea that culture and memory are the most powerful forces of all. It survived not because of its walls, but because of its soul. This story, our long journey into the Constantine-Timbuktu conflict, ends here. But its lessons don't. The past does not disappear, no matter how deeply it is buried. It waits for those willing to listen, for those brave enough to uncover the truths that were meant to be forgotten. The echoes of Timbuktu are all around us, in every culture fighting for survival, in every story that refuses to be silenced. Thank you for walking this journey with us through truth, through shadow, and through the history that survived against all odds. If you've been with us from the beginning, your curiosity and support made this entire series possible. The stories we tell matter. Thanks for watching.